Hey, good morning, fellow YouTubers. So, it really is frustrating. I took my Harley in for the 20,000 mile 20,000 mile tune-up. And first, let me mention something, you guys. This is incredible. But over here, you have the sun rising. Now, we're on the West Coast. There's the Pacific Ocean. And I've lived on the West Coast, the Pacific Ocean, my entire life. But I never, ever dreamed that I would see the sun rise in the morning out of the Pacific Ocean. And that's exactly what you have here in San Pedro, because you are facing so much south that you have some east in it. So when we look down the coastline, we're not just looking south towards Mexico, we're kind of looking towards like Florida, I think. So in a few minutes, I'll try to get a shot of it. You'll see the sun rising out of the Pacific Ocean. And everyone knows the sun rises in the east, and I never thought I would see the sun rising out of the Pacific. So I talked to a local, and she said, oh no, it's like that most of the year. I disagree. I don't think it can be like that 2-3 months max, because as you know, the earth tilts on its axis, creating the seasons. And so that's why our days are shorter in wintertime. And so the sun during the winter rises, where it rises and sets is much closer than in the summer. Where it rises and sets is much farther away, because it's a longer day and it's up in the sky longer. Everyone knows that, of course. But anyways, that's kind of interesting to note. Look, you got a big fishing boat going out right there. I'm envious, because that's a commercial. You got a lot of clients on board with their fishing poles, live bait. They're all ready to go. It's either half day or full day, probably. Some of them are overnight, but if it was an overnight boat, it would be heading south, I think, to Santa Barbara Island, because there's really good fishing in Santa Barbara Island. But anyways, so the reason why I'm posting this video today is because I'm frustrated. So, I took the bike in and, to the dealership, and there's a lot of questions about, have you seen the 2020s? Would you like to test drive a 2020? And obviously I had to spend the whole day there, like 5 hours waiting for my motorcycle. So I'm gonna walk around the showroom floor. Man, I fell in love with the 2020 Heritage Softail. It's really, oh man, all the LED lights, just as Harley's known for, the fit and finish is just incredible. And the ergonomics on that Harley fits me better than probably any Harley I've ever rode. Just my foot, it feels like mid controls instead of forward controls. And on my Harley, I get kind of irritated with those forward controls. It's a bit of a stretch at times. But, man, the Heritage Classic, I think they call it, which is the one that comes stock with the 114 engine, two-tone paint job. I love the orange with, like, it's got gray parts. But, man, I started that night. I went home and I spent the whole night, when I should be sleeping, thinking about how I could finagle buying that. I thought, if I sell my Harley and I sell my car, how much would I have? But then I would have no car for my teenagers or my dog. Could I get by with a little while with no car? And I'm just trying to rationalize everything and see if I can make it happen. And obviously, by the time the alarm goes off in the morning, it's something that I just shouldn't be considering, and it's just not in the mix. But drop. But so the issue is, so it's coming up on the 20,000 mile tune-up. It needed a back tire really, really bad. So I went out and I got the back tire, and I just took it to a local guy and had him throw on the back tire, because it wasn't quite at 20,000 miles and I didn't have quite the money for the whole 20,000 mile tune-up. So when I took it in, like a couple weeks later, to the dealership for the 20,000 mile tune-up, it they said the wheel was out of alignment, and it's already wore your pads down to 80% gone on one side and only 30 on the other. So I had to pay extra for the alignment. That was like $60, and then $108 for brand new brake pads. Good morning. So that was frustrating because I just paid someone to put that tire on and make sure it's aligned properly. And then it ended up destroying these brake pads, and I've never paid $108 for brake pads. My goodness. Jeez. So I take it to, so Harley says they fix that. So $450 for the 20,000 mile tune-up, an extra $200 basically for the alignment and the brake pads. So pay, got to get it done, do it. Drive the thing home, and the get home, and it's pulling still really hard to the left. So I'm thinking, damn it, something's wrong. And so when I get home, I feel the back disc, it's on fire, and you can see the outside brake pad. The outside brake pad is rubbing the whole time. So it's like, okay, so it's been through 2 mechanics, and they're not fixing this. So it's going to be something that I'm going to have to pay for, I think, additionally. But so owning older Harleys is something that is really going to become difficult. I'm sure most of you Harley owners heard that Harley has announced that at all their dealerships, they won't be working on any Harleys more than 10 years old. And that can come up quickly if you really love a motorcycle and you're not normally really thinking about how to replace it or when you're going to replace it, and you just love it and keep it and take care of it. That 10-year mark can come up faster than you realize. My '07 Bonneville, I owned that for 9 years. And it didn't feel like 9 years. I was just really happy with it and loving owning it and riding it every weekend. So, drop. Like I've said, I do, agree with a lot of what Chuck John says. And he mentions that, that's the first sign of a crumbling society. When the blue collar, kind of the simple day-to-day jobs expected from blue collar start to fall by the wayside, and it isn't really done well. So I always talk about retirement being around the corner, but it's a ways off, especially now that I look into it more. But I would really like to, when I retire, take a mechanics class, still have this Harley, take a mechanics class, and really learn to enjoy wrenching on my motorcycle, like in your garage with music, and really enjoy that just as much as riding it. Because that feeling of accomplishment and that reliance on your own skill set and your own knowledge, and when you're wrenching on your own motorcycle, you're going to take a little bit more precaution to make sure it's all done, zipped up tight, and done right. So that's just something I wanted to mention, that this is kind of a frustrating situation when you got, putting on brake pads. You can't find a mechanic that can do that right, or align a wheel. Wow. Okay, so it's back to square one, I guess. You either got to buy a new motorcycle and have it under warranty, or you got to work on it yourself. Anyways, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.